Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Now, I originally did this without any speaking, any commentary, because I was saying let me send up some satellites. In fact, you can see me writing Satellite 1 to get some money, because we were in a very bad spot after the last few crashes. So I had those few missions to put up the satellites, and I thought I would just do it off camera, but I started assembling the satellite and I thought, well, I might as well record it anyway. But I wanted to concentrate, so I said said to myself, I'll do it without speaking and I'll speak later, because I think the speaking wasn't really helping with the actual launches I was having, and taking over the controls wasn't working properly. Now, as you can see, I'd set a couple of boosters there, which I then drop off and then fire some more boosters. Really, I wanted the cheapest possible way to get into space, really, with the satellite. Now, this sort of second stage has another couple of boosters which should drop off, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if they actually, yeah, I think they drop off. Then the main stage should remain. Pardon me, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat again. And now I'm actually throttling up the main engine, because we had a lot of speed and I didn't really need it with those boosters. And I think that was the rocket boosters hitting each other. But I think it was a polar orbit I actually needed to get the satellite in, so that's why I'm trying to bend forwards, not sideways. And I'm actually checking the apoapsis, see where it's going, and trying to adjust accordingly, so that I think I wanted to burn a bit flatter. But if you see, if I was to set it to surface prograde or orbit prograde, or whichever one it is, it's not exactly in the right place, so somehow it's not working properly for me. I've watched other guys do it, and the prograde indicator seems to go pretty much where it should be, but for me it's not. And I don't know if it's me, the game, something I'm doing wrong in planning, I really don't know. But something is up, so that's something I have to look into. But obviously, right now, the issue is the monies, because we need monies badly to get other missions going and get our mission to the moon going properly. And obviously we hired another Kerbal and it didn't let us do anything, because Jeb unfortunately didn't make it, and Valentina's lost in space. Well, she's not really lost, she's just orbiting like a crazy person. Eventually she'll come home. But apparently the physics doesn't work, so she'll keep in the same orbit unless I'm actually on her ship. So I have to sort of remember every time she's near her periapsis, I think, to take control and let her drop that few hundred feet each time. So we'll have to do something like that. Now I'm trying to line up the thingamajiggy. Now I have another stage when this runs out, which is more of a space stage. So as you can see, I'm not really close with the line, but I need to extend the circle, and I'm like using my mouse, whereas you're seeing the mouse that I used when I was recording. But yeah, I need to extend the circle from the bottom of the Earth to more or less match the circle of the satellite, and then I need to obviously correct the wonkiness of the circle. By wonkiness I mean not being completely circularized, like going in the same direction. But if I can make the sizes more or less the same, then I can align them both up where they cross over. So I think right now I'm seeing why the engine isn't working. And then I realise something, because that's where I need to be burning, and it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off, but spacebar isn't working. And then I have a realisation. I didn't put any solar panels on this thing, and I've run out of electricity. Dull! So it's another wasted launch. But it was a pretty good launch. I mean, I more or less got where I wanted to go with the first launch, so the control at least was much better than I've done in previous launches. And there's me scratching my chin. My bearded chin. So we'll try and recover some parts, recover some money. At least by taking these missions I got a little bit of money up front, so let's put some solar panels on this thing. And I'm looking for the solar panels. I was thinking, should I have that or not? Trying to think where exactly I want to put the solar panels. And zooming in isn't exactly the best, which I need to check the key bindings and keep that open when I'm using Kerbal Space Program, because there's a lot of controls to remember, and there's a lot of games, and I get confused very easily. So I want to try and find a good place for these solar panels. I think I do it 4 times symmetry, and I stick them on the side, I think. I mean, they'd be sheltered in the other direction. 8 times? There, I went for 8 times. There's no chance of running out of power like that. Well, unless the sun blocks us. But, yeah. So I'm gonna hit the old kill rot and check the energy is okay. I'll do another launch, which is pretty much identical to the last launch. So obviously I'm gonna drop off these 2. I've got a little bit more weight this time, but I think we had plenty left in the fuel tank. So the last engine use is very little. I'll get rid of them. Leave these 2 going, and I'll probably, once I get to a certain speed, yes, start throttling down the main engine all the way. I want to keep accelerating, but to a certain point. So when you hit certain effects, then it's just you're fighting the air rather than going up. And there's the effect, so got quite a lot of boost there. So it doesn't really get you up any higher, it just gets you up faster. We want to go higher, not faster. So just checking the charge. Charge is all okay, we can get rid of them 2. And then start throttling that up. And they're exploding again, hitting each other. And I'm going to start pushing forward the same way I did last time. Once again, the nav ball isn't giving me the correct marker, which I'm not quite understanding why it's not doing that properly. Should always move. When we were at 30,000 now, it should be pretty much horizontal, but it's not. So I'm trying this time to redirect myself a little bit. If you can see the blue line that shows our ascent, I'm trying as much as possible to line it up with the other blue line, which means pulling over in a certain direction. Obviously correctional maneuvers aren't that tough, but whilst we're going up anyway and using the fuel, it's probably better to try and get as straight as we want to right now. So I'm just throttling back a bit now because we don't quite need all that power. There's our space music. Now, had I put some science on this thing, I probably would have been able to get some biome science, but that was really the last thing on my mind. See, I'm trying to line up this thing, and there's the other one that's going to crash back into the planet. But yeah, it was the last thing on my mind really. I needed to get this up and get the completion bonus to get the funds to continue playing the game really, rather than having to start from scratch. I mean, probably at some point we'll want to start from scratch with all of our newfound knowledge of the game, but obviously we'll try and keep this playthrough going as long as possible, because what's the fun in restarting and having to do all the science farming again? And there's still science farming we'll have to do, mind you, but yeah. So now I'm going to turn that off so we don't waste valuable electricity, and I'm going to warp to the I always mix them up, to the triangle. I don't know if it's the periapsis or the apoapsis, the high one, apoapsis. So I want to warp just a bit before that so I can burn a bit more efficiently to raise the periapsis. So we're going to go prograde. No, it's orbit prograde, yeah. See, now it's showing properly on the line. I don't know. We've got quite a nice high orbit. It looks a bit low because of the circle being quite a large one. Where we have to put the satellite is a lot higher than we've really been before. Obviously satellites are lighter than the capsule, so and now with MechJob I have the benefit of knowing how much power I have, and I think I staged a bit early there, just before it ran out. Can't remember why I did that. Just forcing way, and then we'll go. So it gives you a bit of a push, and then I'm going to throttle down and let that so there's the apoapsis. Now we've got a bit more circularization than we had in the previous one, so I think we did a bit of a better launch this time, not crashing back. So what I'm going to do now is warp a bit before it, I believe, and raise the other side up. As you can see, it's quite a weird circle anyway, but and those knockings, that's my my keyboard on my desk. It tends to make quite a lot of noise. So yeah, I'm gonna line this one. Okay, from where I am, I'm lining that one up and trying to throttle down, and it's not working because I didn't have the nav ball up. I don't know why. Not too far, but it uses very little delta V at this point to actually go that high up, so it's not a problem. just seeing why it wasn't working. Now I've got the nav ball up, so that shouldn't be a problem. So I'm gonna warp to the high part. And hopefully you can see Valentina spinning around the world a few times. Now what I could have done was actually take control of her for a couple of passes to let that have the time to go around, but I was pretty much focused on this mission, so that's something we can do in future episodes. I need to try and remember to do that actually. And now I'm going to burn slowly, and obviously I've got an indicator now that shows me the apoapsis and periapsis, thanks to MechJep, the orbit info box. I did want to try and use as few mods as possible really in at least this playthrough, but certain things are pretty impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but it's very difficult to guess how much power you've got with it, and trial and error is very expensive, as we've found out, so it's important to actually do these things properly. So now I'm trying to line up the top of the line with the top of the circle, I believe. And I've pushed, you see I've pushed the apoapsis down, so I'm going to stop burning there, and I'm going to warp to the apoapsis again, because the further away you get from it, the more you push it out as well, so that's why I stopped. I'm just trying to control this thing, baby steps, baby pushes, and get the circle where we need it to get the money. So it's going up slowly. I'm using very little throttle. I think it's just one tap of shift, and just another little tap, and we're pretty much there. So now I need to warp to the, I guess it's the periapsis, because we're still there. Oh, actually I went back to Space Center. Maybe I did decide to control Valentina after all. Yeah, here we go, I'm looking at Valentina. I'm gonna check where she is. And see how that's gone down. It is in the atmosphere, technically. She's not in space at that point. The apoapsis is staying about the same. Periapsis is dropping slowly, but only when we take control of the spaceship, I've found. So, best thing is that we try and control her when we're on long journeys to bring her down a bit, so she can get back to flying spaceships instead of circling around the world, or Kerbal. Everyone seems to refer to this as the world. So now we're going to go back to our satellite, and we're going to warp there. I've actually gone the other way around from the view I had. Don't know why my default view is the other side of the planet. Always seems to be the other side of the planet, not where the space center is. Maybe it is always the same direction, but it depends on how the world is spinning at the time we take off. Could also be that. So there we go. We can stop that, and we can face retrograde, I believe. Yep, so we're going to keep turning. But we have plenty of electric, we have all those solar panels. we can start burning. Obviously I need to look at the circle, because to make sure we match it up as best as we can. It's quite a tricky circle really, but because it's off centre, you need to be in the right place when you align the circles. As you can see, it's going a bit faster now. I'm just doing one tap of shift and then off, and then on, and then off. And I think I'm about to stop it there-ish. Then we'll warp to a bit before it. I mean, ideally you're exactly on it, but if you're a bit before it, it gives you that time while you're travelling to adjust, because it does move as well. If you notice, it's moving towards me. So there's a little bit of fine tuning that needs to be done, but we're getting quite close, which is very good to have a semi-successful mission really. I mean, it's the closest we've been in a while, so I am more or less there now. Stop that. And now we just have to adjust the centering. And I'm trying to get to the bottom without the nav ball in the way. I think actually the mission completed. I think it was close enough for the mission to complete, because it's gone away. So back to Space Center, we should have some money! Yes, we have 181,000. That was quite worth it, and I think we got a little bit of reputation for that as well, because we're creeping back into the yellow. So we were dangerously close to the red, which is not good. I mean, it's not good to be in the yellow either. A lot of people are in green and then it goes blue, but it's our first time trying this out. It's quite difficult, so well, I find it difficult anyway. So let's see what other missions we have. There is the another satellite in an orbit, so I'm going to accept that one and test the parachute, which I'm not going to do. VIP. I mean, they don't seem to offer too much money actually, these VIP ones, but you might be able to do them all in one pass, so actually it was 101,000, now I have 133. So yeah, now we're gonna go to the vehicle assembly building, I believe, and start planning our next mission. See what we're gonna do. And I think we're gonna try for the moon again, because we've got some money. I mean, the smart thing to do would be put the other satellite up, but you know, when you're on a mission you have to do it. So the moon 0.5, and we need to tweak this machine. Yeah, I'm going to put some fins to make it a bit more controllable. Obviously they don't go where I click. By the time I move the mouse they go away, and it keeps doing double symmetry, not 4 times symmetry. I don't know why. Well, that's okay, we can do it in 2 clicks. So we're going to save it. I'm not going to change the name, I don't think. This time at least. put 2 of them on, try and improve it a bit aerodynamically. And Jebediah's back. Yes, in all that time he respawned. I'd like to think that he somehow survived and he walked all the way back. But obviously, what's his face was chosen to do the mission, so he's gonna do the mission. Because it's not fair if he doesn't get to do it, is it? So, just checking all the staging is correct. I mean, last time we were quite close. Again, it's my controlling of the ship, not the ship itself, which seems to be the main problem. So we'll try and control it a bit more carefully, and hopefully we'll manage something. If we do, we're going to get a lot of money out of it, so that's always good. But anyway, end of the episode, so thank you very much for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and kaboom! I'll see you all next time. Thank you, and bye bye.